All right. So today's lesson is estimating to check if your answers are reasonable. So we're going to use underestimates and overestimates to check the reasonableness of your answers. So the first one says, Sandy says that her family of 4 will go to the park 3 times this year. She says they will save $200 if they buy the season pass. Use the estimation to determine whether her statement is reasonable. So it says estimate the cost of 4 season passes. Okay, so we are going to estimate. So what can I round that $249.99 to?
250.
Yes, that would be the best thing to round it to is 250. Okay? All right? So then 250 times 4 gives me what? This is a calculator standard, guys, so you can have your calculators out.
1,000.
Okay, so 1,000. So it will cost her $1,000 for 4 season tickets. Okay, so now we need to see, well, if a one-day pass is $82.99, right? She's going to need 4 of those. And then she's going to need to do it 3 times. So let's, all right, so what can we round the day pass to?
$83.
Okay, so we'll round it to 83. So we're going to need 4 of those, right? So what they're doing here is they're saying, okay, if we break it down to 80 and 3, then all we need to do is 4 times 80, which is 320, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And then 4 times 3, which is 12. And then all you have to do is add it. So 332, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So each person, or I shouldn't say each day, so this is what it will cost each day for the family of 4. All right. How many days do we need?
4 days. 4 days. No, 3 days.
We need 3 days. So we're going to take that 332 and we're going to multiply it by 3. So once again, we're going to break it to make it a little bit easier. So we're going to say 300 plus 32 to make it easier. So 3 times 300.
900.
Yep. And then 3 times 32.
96.
Yep, 96.
96.
All right. So then if we add that together, we get
996.
996. All right, so those are our 2 prices. So she estimated that she would save $200. Will she save $200?
Yes. Yes.
Look at that again. So this is the season pass, right?
Yes, ma'am.
We're going to subtract the 4-day passes for 3 days, which is $9.96. So if I subtract those, what do I get? $4.
$4.
Is that anywhere close to $200?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Yeah. So no, her estimation is way off because she's only going to save $4. So we're going to circle is not reasonable. Okay? All right, do I need to pause for you guys to copy it?
No, ma'am.
All right, then let's move on. I don't understand why I have 3 staplers sitting here. You go for one day and come back and your whole desk has been rearranged. Okay. All right, so what if the family of 4 visited 4 times instead of 3 times? So we would need to take that 332, right? And we would need to multiply it by 4. So then we would have, break it into 300 plus 32, and then we're going to multiply it by 4. So now what do we get? So 4 times 300.
12.
Yep, 1,200. Yep. And then 4 times 32.
128.
Thank you very much. So 128. So if we add those together, I get 1,000.
328.
Oh, Samir got kicked out. Okay, hold on, Lawrence. I'm trying to let people in. Sorry. All right, Samir, it looks like you got kicked out. I don't know what's that going on. All right, so Javon.
It was into a problem.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, so you're both back in. Okay, so 1,328. Yes, thank you, Lawrence. All right, so now would it be cheaper to buy the season pass?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, because if we go 4 times, it's going to cost me 1,328, where the season passes are only going to cost me 1,000. Okay, so then it says explain. So we'll just put yes. Let me scroll out because I can't see that. Yes, the season pass would be cheaper by $328, right? So then her estimate would be a little bit more reasonable. Sorry. I'm gonna respond to something in Teams. Come on, T-E-A-M-S, Teams. I have to keep all this stuff open because I can't keep up with who responds to me on Teams and everything else. Okay. All right, so let's look at number 2. Let me scroll that up. So it says estimate negative 3.8 times 3 minus 117 divided by 20. All right, so tell whether your estimate is an under or an over. So what can we round 3 and 8/10 to?
4.
4, yep, that would be better. Okay, I'm not going to round the 3 because it's already pretty much a whole number. And then what could I round this to that would make 20 easier to divide into?
125.
I would say 120, right?
Yes, 120.
Okay, so then 120 divided by 20 is?
12. 12.
Nope, look at it again.
No, 6.
6. Okay, and remember, guys, these squiggly lines mean that these are all approximations. So because we are rounding, our answers are approximate. That's what that squiggly line means. Okay? All right, so now it's easy to multiply. So 4 times 3?
12.
Yep. Minus 6?
6.
Yep. So my approximate answer is 6. Now, it says tell whether your estimate is an under or an over. So let's think about it. So let's first of all go back because I didn't pay attention to my signs, right? So this should be -4. So this would have given me -12. So let's go back and redo my answer because my answer is not right. So this is why I tell you guys signs are important. So now I have a -12 and a -6. So my answer is negative what?
-6.
Nope.
Oh, -18.
Yeah, -18. Good job. All right, so let me fix that up here, -18. All right, so this one's tricky because we have a negative answer. Remember, if we're looking at a number line, this is 0 down here, right? And my -18 is going to be somewhere there. So because we rounded the -3 8/10 to -4, it is going to be an underestimate because -4 is smaller than -3 8/10. Now, if they were all whole numbers, if 3 8/10 was a whole number and I rounded it to 4, then I would get a larger positive number, so it would be an overestimate. Okay? Because if I actually do this actual answer, so let's actually multiply it out. So if I do 3.8 negative times 3, I get -11.4. I'm going to have to write it so I can see it. And then if I do 117 divided by 20, I get a -5 and 85/100. So if I add those together, I end up with a -17.25. So I wanted you to kind of see why is it considered an underestimate. And it's only because of the negative that this is considered to be an underestimate. Okay? Does everybody understand that? Because -18 is smaller than the actual answer. So that's why it's an underestimate. Okay? All right. So let's look at number 3. So it says Tasha and Lydia have a yard sale company. Their last 3 jobs brought them $287.50, $184.25, and $95. Lydia worked about 65% of the hours on the jobs. Use compatible numbers to estimate Lydia's share of the earning. All right. So what can we round 285 to? And I would round to the nearest 100. So if I round this to the nearest 100, what would I get?
300.
Yep, 300. Okay, if I round this one to the nearest 100, what would I get?
200.
Yep. All right, and then what would 95 round to?
100.
100. All right, so add them together.
3, 5, 600. 600.
Yep. All right, so now we need to know what is 65% of 600. Remember, these are approximates because we estimated. So we can do one of two things. We can round this to the nearest fraction. That's what they want you to do here. So the nearest fraction would be 66%, which is 2/3. So they want you to take 2/3 of 600. So then 2 times 600 is
1,200.
Yep, and then divide by 3. So what do we get? So basically it's 3 divided into 12, which is what?
400.
Yep, and then we just bring the zeros along, right? All right, so is it an under or an over estimate?
And under? It is an under. No, over.
Okay, it should be over. Remember I said if they are whole numbers and we round the whole numbers up, which is what we did, it's going to be an over estimate. And then we even rounded our percent up to 66, right? So it would have to be an over estimate. All right. So then the turn and talk says, what are 2 different ways to estimate 65%? So 65 is one of those that if we simplify it, we end up with 13 over 20 as a decimal. So it's not an easy decimal to kind of deal with, or a fraction, I should say. So what they are trying to get you to understand is that we could have rounded it down as well to 60 over 100, which would have been 6/10, which is 3/5. So we could have rounded it that way. We also could have rounded it, which it would have been way off if we would have done it though. We also could have rounded it to 50%, which we know is 1/2. Okay? And so if we would have rounded down, then there was a possibility that it could have been an underestimate. So it just kind of depends on what you round to. Okay? All right, so we are to the check understanding. So I want you guys to take about 10 minutes, try them on your own, and then we will come back and we will go over them. Okay? Answers in the video. All right, once again, 3 through 6 and number 10. That's what you should be working on. 3 through 6 and number 10. Okay, remember this is due tonight by midnight, so it needs to be uploaded. Tonight by midnight. You only have about 1 minute and 10 seconds. Okay, so I've done 2 of the 5 problems that you guys had to do. Okay? All right, that's the 1 minute warning.
Miss Lavelle, could you help me with number 10 real quickly? Just want to do more computing.
All right, so what are we going to round them to?
We're rounding 1,003 to 1,000, and we're rounding 0.0062 to...
We're going to round them all, right? Yeah. So let's round this one to -0.2. So once I think we round them, you'll be good to go. So we're going to round that one to 0.2. This one is already 0.2. So times 0.2 minus, yep, round that to 1,000. We're going to times that.
To 100.
To 100. I would round, I don't even know why I rounded it to that. I would round it to 0.006. Just drop the 2. If you wanted to round it to probably 0.1, you would probably be okay if you did it that way too. So then 0.2 times 0.2 is negative 0.04 minus 1,000 times 0.006 is 6. So then this would give me, right, they're both negative, so that would give me negative 6.04. So that's what they had. So it says, is the estimate an over or an under? Well, we have a larger negative, so it would be considered what? An over. An over. Because remember, if we're looking at a number line, negative 6.04 is here, and negative 6.65 is here. So this is closer to 0.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah, because it's a negative number. Yeah, those negative numbers are tricky. Okay? All right. That's it, guys. You guys have a good one, okay? What'd you say, Kamari?
I'm on my last question.
Okay, awesome. All right, guys. See you Monday. Have a good weekend.
You too.